Views and content expressed in the following program are not representative of ONTV or the Board of Directors. ONTV and its Board of Directors do not endorse the views, thoughts, or content of the following program.
Hello again to Political Talk. The last time we were here, we both calmed down a bit. Took a chill pill, whatever you want to call it. But we hope in the last show that we sparked some interest in you. It is a political show, but it is one that we are not promoting either side.
Right.
We're promoting issues and where we think that they should go. Now, I got to tell you, when I was leaving work today, one of my coworkers, I told him that I was going to be doing the show, and he said, "Oh, you do a political show?" I said, "Yeah." I said, I don't really worry too much about it because I can't talk any dumber than the people that are on TV now. I mean, they've turned our political system into a reality show to the point that it's a damn disgrace. I've had disagreements with presidents. I've had disagreements with governors. But I still respected the position.
Right.
I've never seen, and I'm including myself in this, people who are so disillusioned and disgusted with what they've seen. Mm-hmm. You couldn't. This is worse than a reality show. And the thing that makes it so bad is this is people's lives.
That's just touching it. That's just barely touching it right there. They've gone so far. I mean, I don't like to use the term left or right. They've gone so far out of whack.
You mean wacko?
Well, that too.
Yeah.
But they've, and again, we've discussed this before. They've lost touch with reality and the people.
Well, I'm still waiting for the mothership to come down and claim them because these.
Now that ain't nice because now you're comparing them to aliens. We don't want to do that. They might be actually better for us than them.
Actually, I don't think they're coming back for them. No, but the things that we've seen on TV every day. You never know what you're going to hear. And Trump is, he's probably the main character in this, whatever the hell you want to call it. But, I mean, the others, too, Dennis Nunes, the Democrats and the Republicans on an issue, the way they talk, the way they act, it's just beyond reason. And the thing is, what amazes me, these are people that are supposed to be smarter than us or more intelligent. These are leaders. Well, if these are leaders, we're going straight down the hole.
Well, let's look at it this way. Technically, most of them have college educations and everything like that, and I'm not knocking somebody with a college education, but I don't even want to call them that. Our elected officials, there's one thing that they're lacking, and it's definitely not the college education and the ability to do the position that they're in, because that is another story. But they're lacking common sense. I mean, come on, think about it this way. They thought the people were foolish enough, like Prop 1. You remember Prop 1? Mm-hmm. They spent what? $28 million on advertising and to get this to pass.
Yeah, and the governor used money and stepped in with his office to help promote it, which is against the law.
Right.
I'm just throwing that in.
There's a lot of things he's thrown in and broken rules and regulations on. But the whole thing is, they were trying to convince the people that Prop 1 was a good thing.
1 penny?
1 penny.
1 penny?
and it wasn't counting the, what was it, 4.5 cents of a gas tax that was tucked in behind it, plus the 1 penny for the sales tax.
Plus the school increase, plus the increase on the property tax, plus, because they took those 13 proposals and they said, oh, let's do this. Let's let them vote on it. We'll put it all into one bill, call it 1 penny, and we'll let them vote on it, because if they're that stupid, then we can, if it doesn't work out, it's their fault.
That's what they said behind closed doors. You know that as well as I do. They were laughing this one up, and
they were laughing it up until
they saw it. But the people actually got wise.
Yes.
They read what was in Prop 1. Yeah. And the end results were an 80%, and I'm just going to round this off.
It's like 78 or 77.
It was actually 79.8 or something like that, but an 80% vote, an overwhelming no. And then shortly after they'd done that, I had come to you. Do you remember this discussion? I said, you know what's going to happen? All right, so we defeated Prop 1. They're going to shove it down our throats. They're going to send a gas tax down our throats because they feel they need more money.
Well, Arlen Meekoff and Cotter said that, well, okay, they didn't accept that. Now they'll take what we give them. And that's how we got it. So it was 7.5 cents, and then 20% increase on the registrations. And isn't it a shame that Mr. Jacobson has 7 cars, and he has to do registration on 7 cars at 20% increase? Well, it's a good thing he's got that job at the Liquor Control Commission, because now he can pay that.
Oh, I just. You mean Flowers don't sell that or make that kind of money?
I just really dislike people who take advantage, because now let's switch it out.
Okay.
I live check to check, as do most people.
Yes.
We struggle. We try to make it. There's increases all over the place on everything. And, you know, when you live and wonder, will I be able to make it through this week? Will we be able to hold our house for another month? And the world doesn't look all that secure.
Right.
Now, something that I want to ask, because this is really come up. Trump, as well as Snyder, kept saying all these jobs went overseas. All these jobs left. And they said Obama let these jobs leave. I don't know why they had to ask Obama's permission to go, but, you know, I guess that's how it came in. But I want to ask you something. Who moved them?
Well, that's not actually the real question here. The reason a lot of these jobs left is because of the taxation in the United States.
Wait a minute.
No matter how you look at it, they went to where it was cheaper tax-wise and employee-wise.
Okay.
I'm not saying it's right, but if the state and federal governments were to look at lowering corporate income tax, Trump's talked about it. He's mentioned that he would lower the corporate income tax to 15%, I think it was.
15, but George Bush said he'd take it down to 5%, and they still said no. And I'll meet you halfway on that, except for the fact that, yes, the tax was high, but they weren't paying the tax anyway. They had all these loopholes.
Most of them
GE paid no tax.
Well, you're right. Most of these are loopholes that they're traversing through in order to cut their taxes. Now, what would be, I can only utilize mom and pop for this because I know their tax base. Okay, mom and pop generally pay 38 to 40% of their income out of there is tax. The employee has a tax, but yet this is a situation where the business actually has to pay an employee tax, even though the employee is still paying the state income tax, but yet a business has to pay a tax on that employee. And this is all, like I said, grouped into that 38 to 40% tax. If a state could come in there and make it, say, 25 to 28%, what would that do for the business?
It would help them out, but the point is, they took the business out. They were still making money. The majority were still making, they weren't making enormous money, but they were still making money. And employees were working, which put more money into the tax base, and it could have been changed. But see, what the government will do is it will protect itself. If taxes, if fewer and fewer people are working, then more and more people are taking out of the system, not putting in. Okay. That's a result of people not working. But these guys moved their factories overseas so they could increase the profit margin. Then they came up with inversion. Then they came up with putting money in other countries. Ireland right now has $712 billion of American money because they charge 12%, but I believe that was going up to 15. So
yeah, they had to equalize it because Apple was involved with all that over there.
Yeah, but the thing is, you keep saying, oh, they left because of the American workers. Well, okay, to a point.
I didn't say that. I'm saying that a lot of them left because of the taxation.
But a lot of them left because it was higher profit margins. I mean, you pay an employee, I'll give you an example. Where I worked, on American workers got at least minimum wage, whereas people on foreign flag ships got $3 or $4 an hour, overtime after 70 hours. Okay, now in other countries, they're paying them, $1 here, $1 there an hour. Now, Tom DeLay and Grover Norquist, who he belongs in jail anyway, as far as I'm concerned, because he was involved in a lot of that. He was getting kickbacks from countries that were using slave labor for things to be made in America, and they were paying DeLay and Norquist money.
Oh, no,
that's
okay. As long as it's the truth, we don't want to get carried away and making up stories.
But my point is that these companies moved out to make higher profit margins. Now, in a way, it's going to come back to bite them because Trump's talking about, oh, I'm going to bring those jobs back. Well, first, Mr. Trump, like they said this week, why don't you set an example? You got 12 to 14 companies out there, and you are importing stuff. Your daughter is importing her clothes from China, okay? How are you going to bring those factories back? Are you going to pick it up and ship it UPS, FedEx? How are you going to do that? Because the rule was in China, you had to hire Chinese workers. Chinese workers sometimes work for food. That's a fact.
Yes.
Okay, so you made large profits, and that was good. But you were only allowed to have the administrative. So you can take your administrative and whatever money you can get, but the rest stays. Inasmuch as the workers already know how to do it, believe me, the Chinese have already got your secrets.
All right.
Now, so it's nice to talk about all that. Whoa, close your company and bring it over. That happened with the guy with the wind turbines. And he did bring his company back over after all his secrets were stolen. And the Chinese now have his company and his secrets. Well, he reopened in the United States, but the state of Massachusetts bought wind turbines
from China.
Documentary on 60 Minutes, January 2016. Please watch. I try to verify everything I say. So if I do say something, if I'm not sure, I will let you know, I think. But if I'm sure and I've seen it and can verify it, I will say it. As you can see, I keep my notes.
And that's a big thing that's going on, like you're talking about. Companies do go over there because the profit margins are better. They're greater. The employees cost less, so that's a profit margin that
no
increases.
Benefits, no taxes.
Right. But you're right. They can't just pick the company up, the factory, and bring it back across.
But then stop.
The Chinese, and I think Mexico's the same way. They have to employ a certain percentage of their people in them communities. And you're right. Once they get in there, they learn all this. The country can take over their factories and keep them running.
I've complained about Trump, so let's throw a little on Snyder. Snyder sold Gateway to the Chinese.
Yes, he did.
And
a lot of people bet you I'll guarantee you they didn't know he did that.
Now, we had a Gateway computer many, many years ago, and of course it wasn't.
Well, they weren't the greatest machines, but they did.
Well,
they did all right for
made
their
in
time.
China, I mean, Trump's hats are made in China.
Yes, they are.
This was something one of my coworkers told me.
A tie made in China?
Yeah, check that tie. If it is, rip it off. But one of my coworkers told me that the bombs that Trump,
Jerry Garcia.
yeah, that Trump threw onto Syria, his factories. So now he's going to replace those with taxpayer money. Isn't that nice? But see, the hypocrisy of do as I say, not as I do, is so rampant here with state. Now, something that you brought up a few shows ago was that all the money that from the state of Michigan that's invested outside the state.
You're talking about the MCCA.
Yes. So we don't even invest in our own state. We invest outside the state. Why? You promote it. Don't you trust it?
For those of you who might not know, when I brought this up, we have a MCCA is the Michigan Catastrophic Claims Account. That's all tied in with our auto insurance industry, or business, I should say. And there's nearly $20 billion in there. We used roughly a little over $600 million for actual claims last year. The rest of the money is, and it belongs. Okay, the red might come up this time.
Okay, I'm working
The
on
money is all from Michigan residents who have auto insurance.
I'm one of them.
Me as well. I have 3 vehicles under it. So, but the whole thing is, this account, the Michigan Catastrophic Claims Account, the insurance companies are investing it, and their excuse is that they want to make profits on it to keep the account viable. You only used 600 and some million out of it last year, and you have nearly 20 billion, and you're increasing it annually. But yet, the money that they're investing is invested in California, Florida, Ohio, Indiana, Illinois. And out of the 12 pages that I have with all the investments on it, there's not one Michigan company in there. That ticked me off. That should tick off every Michigander who's paying auto insurance in Michigan. Now,
what the people out there have to understand, you can be pissed off at what we're saying.
Right.
And I understand that you probably do. I mean, some of you probably think, oh, well, they're bashing Republicans, they're bashing Democrats. No, we're bashing all of them because we entrusted them with our lives. Now, I'm going to ask you another question, bonehead question, but I'm going to ask it anyway. How would you like to live in Seoul, Korea right now?
No, I like it fine right here.
Right now.
I mean, no matter how crooked it is here, it's worse over there. So
right now, all the rhetoric that's going on, the people of Seoul, the people of Russia, the people of Michigan, the people of the United States, we go on about our business. We take care of our families, we do our jobs. We're not part of this. And here we have these idiots telling us how they're saving us and protecting us, when in fact, right now, they're instigating. I would hate to be someone in Seoul, South Korea right now, and I got a kick out of Trump saying that there's a madman over there. Well, it takes one to know one, because neither one of you are look like you got all, your elevator don't go to the top.
I mean, again, you know me, I try to stay out of the federal stage, off the federal stage.
Well, then let's hit the state then.
But what I would like to see is more people in the blue-collar field getting involved in politics. I would love to see, because that would bring common sense into the situation, which Schneider has no common sense. Bill Schuette,
well,
and
okay.
I'll say this right to him if he ever wants to watch this show. You're an idiot. You have lost your common sense. And I don't care if you're a Republican or Democrat, even though I know which party you belong to.
No, I think it belongs to the party of Shooty.
There you go.
The thing is, these guys are more concerned with themselves. And I've said, you know, when I was campaigning, whatever they do, you got to live with it and you got to pay for it.
Yeah.
So I asked you if you would want to live in Seoul. How'd you like to live in Flint? You know, with the water and what they've gone through. You know, Jeffrey Feiger brought up, he said, at that time, during the middle of all this, who would want to live in Flint? Well, the situation there got so bad, it went worldwide. Mm-hmm. People knew what Flint was, but it also hurt the reputation of Michigan because, hell, I wouldn't want to live in Flint. I don't know that I'd want to live in Michigan. Well, I do want to live in Michigan, and I love Flint, and I love Michigan. I had a chance to live in Hawaii. The hell with it. I don't like Hawaii. I wouldn't trade Michigan for the world. I used to take
Flint,
my money.
Michigan was my stomping ground.
Yeah. But my point is that people listen to what they're saying. Apply it to your life. When you vote, and you're about to vote again in 2018, when you vote, you are going to hire someone to represent you. You are going to hire someone that's going to fix your infrastructure and get your schools working the way they're supposed to so that your kids can get a good education to go into a world that's going to be a damn sight harder than ours. And right now, with the ones that are in there, you know, I was asked, do you trust them? As I said before, if Trump or Bishop told me my ass was on fire, I'd ask somebody else.
Yeah.
You know, Trump, well, Bishop is he's a Trump supporter, hands down. The man can do no wrong, which means that you can't think. And being a Trump supporter, I'm not exactly sure where Trump wears that supporter, but you know, the fact is that's what he is.
No matter what goes on with the 2018 elections, I want people to think.
Yes.
I want them to realize that the status quo is not what they think it is. They need to think outside the box. And again, I've said this many times before, is that candidate going to benefit your family and your community? And if the answer is yes, I don't care what party they are. If you feel that answer is yes, vote for them.
Call your state senator. Call your state rep. Call your congressman. Mike Bishop, Brighton office, 1-810-227-8600, and see what you get. I asked their office I signed up for his newsletter in October.
Right.
I was told I could get a hard copy. I have not received any, and this is now April. So I called up there last week and I asked, where's my newsletter? Oh, go on the computer. It's on social media. Well, I'm not in social media. That's for Trump. Right. I want a hard copy. Well, we can't do that. Why not? You have franking privileges. We give these boneheads money to send us information of what they're doing, which probably is why we didn't get anything, because they didn't do anything. So, I mean, we'd get 2 blank pieces of paper. But the thing is,
which would be worth more than what they are in office.
Yeah, they're getting thousands of dollars in franking privileges to send us this information. And this bonehead in his office told me I can't do that because if I do it, I have to do 700 and some thousand copies. I didn't ask you to do it for everyone. I asked you to print off a hard copy and send it to my address. It'll cost you 1 stamp. Or maybe he's doing what they did before in the Congress. They were taking the franking privileges, they took the stamps, they cashed them in and kept the money. No, that's true.
I know it is.
That's true.
I know it is.
You know,
but that would go in with the corruption.
The point is that these guys, I ask them a question. Well, I don't know. Well, I need to get an answer. Well, I don't know. Well, wait a minute. What do you know? Where's the next town hall meeting? Oh, well, I can't tell you that for security reasons. What's he afraid of? Wait a minute. That office that he's sitting in, we pay for. What I should do is ask Mr. Bishop, and Mr. Trump, hey, I'll tell you what, you don't do your job, I'm not going to pay my taxes. If I can't get a stamp with the amount of tax that I pay, now I overpay the IRS in the state of Michigan because although they may be very nice people, I sure as hell don't want to talk to them. So I overpay them so they leave me alone.
Right.
So you're telling me that you can't hit a button, print off a hard copy, put a stamp on it, and put it in the mail. But you sure as hell can send me a letter.
But better yet, they don't even actually put stamps on it no more. They put it on the meter machine, and it prints it on there, so it's even less.
Wasn't it so nice of Christine Whitmer and Trump and
Gretchen
Hillary
Whitmer.
Clinton, well, whatever the hell her name is, and Mike Bishop to send me a letter to
Asking
send
for
them
money.
anywhere for, and they were very nice about it. They took a credit card, make it easy on me. And they even put other in case $6,800 just wasn't enough. I mean, they might catch me in a mood, and I'll just, hey man, I'll just mortgage the house. I sure as hell want you to have the money. God damn, I don't, nothing here for me. So the point is that you can do that, but when I ask for something, can't get it. I can't even get an answer out of them.
They don't want to educate us. Their job is to dumb us down.
Yes.
They don't want us to be educated.
One thing I learned when I first started in politics, and I learned this in Detroit, when you're in office, keep them stupid, keep them in control. Well, I'm not stupid, and I'm not in control. And I will keep calling their office. By the way, his Washington office is 1-202-225-4872. Mr. Bishop, if you should happen to watch this on YouTube, seeing that you spend so much time on social media, come on down. Here's a seat for you. You can sit in between us. Todd will wear his red shirt. I'll wear my Lake Orion, and
I'll
you can
even
talk.
wear a suit. I won't be so casual.
Right
you
now-
show up, I'll wear a suit.
You have a nice night, and thank you for listening, and we survived another one. So thank you very much, and we'll see you next time on Political
Have
Talk.
a good night.
Thank you.
Views and content expressed in the previous program are not representative of ONTV or the Board of Directors. ONTV and its Board of Directors do not endorse the views, thoughts, or content of the previous program.